You ever think something small, something totally harmless could turn your whole peaceful life upside down? For me, it was a motorhome, a used white and blue Winnebago I'd dreamed of owning for years. My wife and I finally bought it, parked it in our driveway, and felt like freedom was sitting right outside our front door. But to one woman, it wasn't freedom. It was filth. She called it an eyesore. 2 weeks later, she called a tow truck to have it taken away without my permission. That's when I decided, if she wanted a war, she'd get one. I live in a suburban neighborhood just outside Dallas, Texas. You know the type, cookie-cutter houses, lawns trimmed like green carpets, and that fake good morning energy where everyone waves but secretly counts how many weeds you've got. It's quiet, predictable, until you meet Karen, our HOA president. Mid-50s blonde bob, always with that clipboard like it's her sword of justice. She's the kind of woman who measures her neighbor's grass height and files a complaint before lunch. When my RV first showed up, it was spotless, freshly washed plates, up-to-date, legal in every way. I was proud of it. That night, my wife and I sat inside it, dreaming of future road trips once the kids went to college. But the next morning, taped to my front door in neon orange, was a violation notice. Recreational vehicles are not permitted on driveways for more than 24 hours. Signed, Karen, HOA President. I actually laughed at first. I'd read the bylaws when we moved in. That rule only applied to broken down or unregistered vehicles. Mine was clean, registered, perfectly fine. So I took a picture of the notice and emailed the HOA board politely clarifying the rule. I thought that'd be the end of it. An hour later, bang, bang, bang on my door. I open it and there she is, Karen herself, arms crossed, chin up. You could feel the disapproval radiating off her. Mike, she says you're setting a bad example for the community. People don't want to look at that thing every day. I smiled, trying to keep it calm. You mean the RV that's legally parked in my own driveway? She didn't blink. Exactly. It's an eyesore. I looked past her shoulder at her hedge trimmed into the shape of a cat. You know what's an eyesore, that feline bush you've got going on? She gasped like I'd slapped her. Excuse me, I'm enforcing community standards. No, I said, you're enforcing your standards. There's a difference. That was strike one. The next few weeks, things got weird. I'd catch her taking photos of my RV sometimes with 2 other board members walking up and down the sidewalk like detectives in a crime scene show. They whispered, took notes, shook their heads dramatically. I started calling them the HOA task force. My wife told me to ignore them. I tried. But there's only so long you can pretend someone's not stalking your driveway. Then came strike 2. One Friday evening, I came home from work to find a tow truck in front of my house, hooked up, ready to drag my RV away. I ran up to the driver yelling, "Hey, that's my property. You can't tow it without authorization." The driver looked uncomfortable. Ma'am over there said it was abandoned. And there she was, Karen, standing across the street in her wide-brimmed sun hat, pretending to water her plants. Yeah, I said. Well, ma'am over there is about to get sued. The driver called his supervisor, checked my registration, and unhooked the truck. Karen stomped back into her house without a word. I stood there, shaking, my heart pounding. That's when it hit me. She wasn't just annoying. She was dangerous. Someone willing to twist rules, abuse power just to get her way. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat in the RV, lights off, looking through the windshield at her porch light glowing across the street. I started doubting myself. Maybe I was wrong to park it there. Maybe it was tacky. Maybe I should just sell it and be done. But then I thought, no. I read the rules. I followed the rules. She just doesn't like that she can't control me. That's when a little spark lit up in my head. If she wanted to make my RV her obsession, maybe I could make it her nightmare. Next door to her house was a vacant lot that belonged to my buddy Dave. He'd moved to Colorado a few months back but hadn't sold his place yet. I mowed the grass for him sometimes, so I called him. "Hey man, mind if I park my RV on your lot for a bit?" He laughed. "As long as it doesn't catch fire, go for it." Perfect. That weekend, Karen was hosting one of her little community improvement meetings on her porch. Half a dozen neighbors in folding chairs, lemonade flyers about fence colors. I started the RV engine right then and there. The sound roared through the cul-de-sac. She looked up, startled. I didn't drive away. I drove next door. onto Dave's empty lot right beside her white picket fence. I parked it 5 feet from her garden gnomes, and the side facing her house, it had a big bright decal that read, "Adventure Awaits." Her face, oh man, her face looked like she'd just swallowed a lemon. She stormed inside. I leaned back in my seat, sipped my coffee, and enjoyed the view. The next morning she was back out with her phone taking pictures again. This time she called the city code enforcement. An officer actually showed up that afternoon. He walked around clipboard in hand. "Sir, this your property?" "Nope," I said. "Belongs to my friend. He owns this lot. Here's his written permission." Karen stepped forward, waving her HOA handbook like it was the Constitution. "This is a violation of Article 6, unapproved structures." The officer turned to her deadpan. "Ma'am, this lot is outside your HOA boundary. City property. HOA rules don't apply here." I swear you could see her soul leave her body. "Anything else, officer?" I asked, grinning. He shook his head. "You're all good, sir." Karen spun around and marched back inside. I could almost see steam coming out of her ears. That night she went digital. She posted in the neighborhood Facebook group. "Some people think it's okay to turn our peaceful community into a campground. If we wanted to live near RVs, we'd move to a trailer park." So I posted a photo of the RV at sunset golden light reflecting off the windows captioned, "Home is where the HOA isn't." 300 likes. Neighbors I'd never spoken to commented things like, "About time someone stood up to her." Turns out I wasn't the only one she'd been terrorizing. 2 days later I got a knock at my door. It wasn't Karen this time, it was the HOA vice president. He looked around, then leaned in. "Between you and me," he said quietly, "everyone's tired of her. She's making herself look worse by the day. Just keep everything legal and she'll hang herself with her own rules." I didn't know it then, but he was absolutely right. A week later a city inspector showed up again, but not for me. He went straight to Karen's backyard. Apparently someone had tipped them off that she'd built a deck extension without a permit. And the best part, HOA rules specifically banned unapproved structural changes. I stood at my window sipping coffee, watching as she argued with the inspector. Her voice carried down the block, sharp, desperate cracking. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Within days, word spread she'd been fined thousands to bring it up to code. The queen of HOA compliance had violated her own laws. The irony was beautiful. After that, everything changed. The HOA meetings got friendlier. People actually laughed again. I even got invited to one just to share community insights. My RV, once her personal enemy, became a local landmark. Families stopped by to take photos. Kids loved the decal. Someone even wrote on next door the RV that beat the HOA. A few months later, a moving truck pulled up to Karen's house. I stepped outside, leaned against my fence, and watched her carry boxes out. She saw me, froze. I smiled. "Need help parking your new ride, Karen?" She glared daggers at me but didn't say a word. "Don't worry," I said. "My driveway's got plenty of room." She turned away and climbed into her car. When the truck finally drove off, the street felt lighter, quieter, like the whole neighborhood could breathe again. I never meant to start a war. I just wanted to be left alone to park my own property on my own land. But when someone tries to bully you with rules, sometimes the best revenge is to play by those same rules better than they ever could. And that's the thing about people like Karen. They think power means control. But real power is knowing how to make them trip over their own perfection.